We are part of the collaboration Crocktober 2022. We wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you to Jeni Scratch Made Kitchen for inviting us to this collaboration. She's a good friend of this channel, and I think if you go check her out, you won't be disappointed in the material you'll find. Again, thanks, Jeni. Make sure that you're commenting on all the videos because there will be a drawing on November 1st for a crock pot. So all of the ingredients and instructions will be located down below in the description box. We're going to go ahead and start with the Asian chicken. And first we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of honey. Mine managed to get crystallized, so I've been working on that. So it looks a little weird, but it's honey, so it's still good. Also down below you will also find a printable link for this recipe, so you are more than welcome to use that. And then we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of brown sugar that's packed. I'm using light brown sugar here, but you're more than welcome to use what you want. And then 1 cup of soy sauce, and I'm using the sodium, or low sodium, excuse me. Then we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of ketchup. I don't really actually have a preference on which kind. Some people use the all natural, but we just use ketchup. And then we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of rice wine vinegar. Now, some people don't like the taste of that, so you can leave it or add it, whatever you want to do. And then we're adding 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. We use the Toasted Sesame Oil. And then 1 teaspoon of fresh minced garlic. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and mix it all together. I'm going to use a whisk in it, and that helps get, because the honey and the brown sugar have a tendency to get stuck down at the bottom. So I just use the whisk and make sure that it's all incorporated. Basically, I'm just trying to meld all those flavors together, get them incorporated pretty well. So that's the goal with the whisking. Depending on how thick that mixture gets on the bottom, it could take you a little while, and sometimes it doesn't. So kind of just have to work with it, and it goes pretty fast, so it's not a real big deal. So then once we get that done, then we need to add our chicken in. Before we do that, though, I did also have 5 tablespoons of cornstarch, 5 tablespoons of water. We will use those later for the thickener at the end. But right now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken in. And here I did 3 pounds of mix of boneless, skinless, thigh meat and breast meat, because we like the thigh meat and it adds a little bit more flavor. But it's 3 pounds. Now that sounds like a lot, but you got to remember, between these two recipes, because we're doing Asian chicken and then we're going to do teriyaki chicken, excuse me, we're feeding probably about 18 people. It's a big family dinner night, so this is what we opted to do. So it is a lot. So I would just take the recipe and then cut it down into thirds if you can, or as close to it. If you only want to do 1 pound of meat at a time, then you can do it that way too. And remember, this is also going over rice. You could do that over noodles or a bread or a bun, like a sandwich if you wanted to. But we're doing it over rice tonight, so we're making a little extra just to make sure we have enough. And in the end of it, we did have probably maybe 1 or 2 servings left over. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cover it after we've stirred it all together, make sure everything's combined, and we'll put it on high, and that'll cook for about 3.5 hours straight through. So now we're going to start on the teriyaki chicken, and we're going to add 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Then we'll add 1.5 cups of teriyaki sauce and 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Again, this is a lot, but we're also feeding a lot. So, and then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of honey. Again, it's the crystallized honey, so please bear with that, but that's what we got going for us. And then we're adding 6 tablespoons of minced dried onions, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and then 3 teaspoons of mustard powder. And then we'll also add 3 teaspoons of garlic. I'm using granulated garlic here. So you get a mix of all those flavors together. And then also, again, like on the other one, we have the 5 tablespoons of Cornstarch, 5 tablespoons of water we'll use as the thickener at the end when it's all done, just before we serve it. So again, here we're using 3 pounds of chicken. It's a mix of thigh meat and breast meat. Again, just so everybody, because I know everybody makes comments how much food we feed or cook. That's because we do, in this case tonight, we're feeding about 18 to 20 people. So we want to make sure we have enough. So anyways, just go ahead and put it all in there. And, you know, it's good to make these into about 1 inch, maybe a little bit more. That's about the size I went with. Rough. I wasn't being precise about it. But once you get that all done, go ahead and mix it all up together. You want to make sure that you get all those flavors incorporated as best as you can. And then go ahead and cover it. You're going to cook this one on high about 3.5 hours. So you want to make sure while you're doing this, every hour you're going through and stirring that. So when you get to the 3.5 hour mark, or at least this is what I do, 3.5 hour mark, I go ahead and then I get that slurry mix together, which again, we're going back to the 5 tablespoons of cornstarch, 5 tablespoons of water. Make sure you get it all thoroughly mixed because you don't want any clumps. It's the whole point of using the water in the cornstarch, is to make sure that there's no lumps. And then once, obviously it's been cooking for a while and it's theoretically at a boiling state, you want to go ahead and add it. Make sure it's all mixed together. Make sure that you go through and get all around that edge and whatnot, because you don't want this sticking to the bottom. So it's going to cook for another half hour. So you want to make sure you've gotten that free off the bottom, and it will thicken up. Don't worry about it. It looks kind of wet right now, but it will thicken up some. So just like we did with this one, we'll move over to the teriyaki one as well, and we will go ahead and do the same thing. So I go ahead and stir it up. Slurry, you already know how that's made, so we go ahead and do it, mix it all together, and then add it in. Again, stirring the entire pot, making sure you're getting all the way around there so that's all mixed together and you're not going to end up with any big clumps of slurry. So once that's done and it's cooked for another half hour, now it's time to serve. So we're just serving it over rice, put it over the top, and then, enjoy. It's really a good meal. Again, like I said, you could put this over noodles, fried rice. We're doing it over white rice. You could put it into a bun like a sandwich or over a slice of bread. It all turned out really good. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, like I said, we only had a couple servings left with all that we did, so it was well worth it. Very delicious. And here we'll go ahead and give you a little taste test. I have a couple volunteers, so let's see what they have to say, and then you can make your own decision from there.
Meal?
Okay, so Shauna, you have the toasted Asian rice bowl with chicken, and Tanya has the teriyaki rice bowl with chicken. Okay? Don't burn yourself.
Ah!
That is so
amazing.
Good.
Oh my goodness. That's good.
Is that something you would eat again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
okay.
my
Anything
goodness.
you don't like about it?
Nope.
No.
Show us your bowls, because that's basically what you're going to do with it. You're going to mix it up and then eat it. So,
oh, that's so good.
Good job.
Thank you.
So then tonight we're having this, which is the rice bowl, the chicken rice bowl, and we're also having egg drop soup, which Sabrina's making too. So,
oh, that's so
it'll be a good dinner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jeni's Scratch Made Kitchen. Thank you to Noreen's Kitchen. Thank you to Pike Creek Farm. Thank you to My Aussie Garden and Kitchen. Thank you to Prepper Potpourri. Thank you to the Miller's Life Kitchen. Thank you to Tulilu Creates. Thank you to Freedom Homestead. Thank you to Hargett Life. Thank you to Melinda's Messy Sink. Thank you to Little Family Living. Thank you to Our Big's Homestead Kitchen. Thank you to Super at 60. Thank you to RB Story. Thank you to Ormsby Farms. Thank you to Texas Country Life. Thank you to Whiskey Women Whisks. Thank you to Linda's Pantry. Thank you to Kettle Kitchen. Thank you to Mennonite Farmhouse. Thank you to the Beals. Thank you to What's Up Family Home, soon to be Ann Southern Kitchen. Thank you, Greg's Kitchen. Thank you, Parsnips and Parsimony. Thank you to Big Valley Living. Thank you to A Good Life Farm. Thank you to Sutton's Days. Thank you to Flavorful Home. Thank you to Mountain Mascara Homestead. Thank you to Blue Self-Reliance. Thank you to the Trucker's Kitchen. Thank you to Rich Cat Ranch. Thank you to In the Kitchen with Karen. Thank you to Not For Nothing Homestead. And thank you to Great Lakes Junction. And thank you to all these channels for a great Crocktober 2022.